King and Foolish Monkey. In the grand kingdom of Hastinapura, there lived a noble king named Devaraja. The king had many advisors and guards, but his most cherished companion was a lively monkey named Manu. Manu was not just a pet, he was the king's shadow, treated with great affection and allowed to roam the palace as he pleased. Manu loved the king with all his heart. He believed it was his solemn duty to protect his master from any harm. He would sit by the throne, puffing out his chest, trying to look as fierce as the royal guards, though he was only a small, chattering monkey. One hot afternoon, the king felt weary from his royal duties. "I must rest, my little friend," he said to Manu, stroking the monkey's head. "Will you keep watch while I sleep?" Manu chattered eagerly and nodded his head, honored by the important task. As the king slept soundly, a buzzing fly entered the chamber. It circled the room before landing right on the king's chest. The king stirred in his sleep, brushing at the tickle. The fly buzzed away, only to return a moment later. Manu watched this with growing irritation. He waved his little hands, trying to shoo the pesky insect away. "Go away, you bothersome creature," he chattered under his breath. But the fly was persistent. It would buzz off, then circle back and land on the king again and again. Manu's simple mind filled with rage. This fly was disrespecting his king. It was disturbing his master's peace. Waving his hands was not enough. This enemy had to be destroyed. His loyalty burned so fiercely that it left no room for thought. Determined to end the threat, Manu looked around for a weapon. His eyes fell upon the king's own ceremonial sword, resting in its scabbard against the wall. It was heavy and ornate, a symbol of the king's power. To the foolish monkey, it looked like the perfect tool for the job. With great effort, Manu dragged the heavy sword across the marble floor. He climbed onto the bed, his knuckles white as he gripped the hilt. Just then, the fly, bold as ever, landed once more on the very center of the king's chest. "Aha!" thought Manu. "Now I have you." With a furious screech, Manu brought the sharp sword down with all his might, aiming directly for the tiny fly. At the last second, the fly buzzed away, completely unharmed, but the heavy blade did not miss. It struck the sleeping king with a terrible thud. The king cried out in pain, clutching his wounded chest. The palace guards rushed in to find their king injured, and the foolish monkey standing over him, confused, still holding the sword. As the royal physicians tended to his wound, the wise king understood. He had learned a painful lesson. It is better to have a wise enemy who thinks before he acts than a foolish friend whose loyalty is blind.